So let's go jump right in there. You got two kings here. King of Cups is emotions, taking the high road, choosing something that is better for yourself as well as others. And you know, you may have to do the hard thing, Taurus. You may have to speak the hard words with love and kindness. But King of Cups is emotional. And we have the King of Pentacles here. So that's usually movement, can mean money. So you have two back to back. So it's time to really look at what you've been avoiding, Taurus. No, it has not been changing. So this could be relationship space. The lovers are here. It can be moving out of a job, maybe moving physically from one home to another, but I'm feeling movement here. I'm feeling emotions. It is that not making this decision has been based on emotions. A lot of times we don't make the decisions because we don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings. But Taurus, in the end, it just ends up hurting us by not making those decisions sooner or quicker. You know, making no decision at all is a decision that usually kind of explodes in your face. So make those decisions, look at those things that you know that you have to change, and take a step into your future and your brilliance, and make those changes. So the King of Cups is here. It does feel like there's a very big decision that does affect other people, and it will make a shift in your life too. It looks more like for the better. But it is a challenge and it is a shift. So the Hierophant here is what crosses you. So this feels like it's something directly against your spiritual happiness or your happiness in general. And something that you've known you had to change that hasn't been working. And as I said, it could be a lover, it could be a job, a place that you live, could be the dynamics in your immediate family that you may have to speak your truth about something that has been going on that is not healthy for the family. But in general, it is going against your moral code and your happiness. So, and you know, Spirit wants the best for us. Spirit wants us to fly high into our passions, into our love, and into our happiness and joy. So whatever this decision is, it feels like your joy and your bliss has been tempered. It has been put on the back burner, possibly for somebody else's happiness or to avoid making a decision that will be like force some movement. So it's going to happen either way, Taurus. I encourage you to take the reins and kind of maybe not control the situation, but at least begin the change by your words of kindness and you making some motion. It does feel like you're a little lost in some of your decisions and kind of just floating. This is the Six of Swords, so it can present almost like a feeling of being trapped. The money sign is on this side, so maybe your money is all tied up with someone or a company that you would like to part ways with. So yes, that will affect your money. It will affect your livelihood, but it is only temporary, and it does look like the outcome would be a much happier place for you, Taurus, when you make this decision or when you commit to making this decision. It looks like the changes are already made, but it does look like you're holding off for someone else's happiness instead of your own, which of course does not work. So it looks like you're floating a little bit, feeling trapped. So take that first step into your brilliance, speak your truth, whatever it is. But you may need to float a little bit for yourself to see where you land and how this will affect you in the long run. The King of Pentacles is in the past position. It's usually integrity over money. It can mean an actual person. This is an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. And also the King of Cups can stand for a person, usually in a male body, but it doesn't have to be. So that is a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. But this King of Cups really feels more like moral integrity and emotions being wrapped up in a decision, whereas the King of Pentacles feels like more like a person, an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. It can mean you as well, Taurus, taking a step into your power, taking a step into your truth, and not putting your information, your desires, and your needs on the back burner. This is in the past position, so most likely it is something you are aware of or something that you have already begun to facilitate the change. And it may involve another Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo as well. So, but it does look like money is kind of mixed in there. There is some fear around making the changes because of money. But, you know, take a leap of faith into your own power. The Strength card is here in the present time. So gather your strength, make those changes, because it looks like just floating around being trapped has not really worked for you, or making decisions for other people's happinesses. So that is not going to work in the long run. So it's time to be strong, and you are one of the most diligent, strong signs in the zodiac. When you make up your mind, Taurus, you go for the gold. You just do, but it's getting that motion going. And it feels like there's a little hesitancy. It feels like there is just a delay, you know. So don't be constipated in your decisions. Jump in there, do what you need to do for your happiness. It's time to make you first. And yes, it will require some strength and some kindness. Be careful of manipulations from the other, either person, job, boss, from the other side. Be careful of manipulations. Just hold steady in your vision and put one foot in front of the other. Be strong and walk through that fear, because it's really kind of holding you almost hostage here. And doing nothing is a choice that usually is created the opposition of what you really wanted in the first place. So gather your strength. The Page of Wands is right here, and pages can be people. They usually are someone young. It can be a child. Wands can be movement, and the messages that Page of Wands represents, it's an important message, and it's usually something about work. Can mean international travel, but it does usually mean some motion on your part, and some decision is being it is required on your part to facilitate the motion. I do feel that this is not a child. This feels more like a message. So you may be getting some important messages about a new job, or even moving to a new place for a new job, or possibly international travel. But it does require some attention on your part. So it feels like, in general, Taurus, it's time to take that leap of faith. No longer ignore the actions that you really have been putting off for quite a while. It looks like the messages have been very clearly that there's change that needs to happen for your growth and your happiness. So the Death card here is at the basis of all this, and the Death card can mean physical death, a transition, someone who is sick, but it all depends on what is happening with the rest of the throw of your reading. And the Death card, just when I ask Spirit what it means for you, Taurus, it is time for you to facilitate the ending, whether it is the relationship, and it does feel like a relationship. It may be a love relationship, it may be a work relationship, a friendship, something like that, but something really needs to change, something needs to end, so it can make more room for your happiness, your joy, and your future abundance and plans. So it looks like it's going to happen in the month of May, so you might as well facilitate it and start it off with love and kindness instead of it just exploding. The Knight of Swords here, this can be a person. Usually swords kind of can be cutting words. It can be rash thoughts. Knights are ones of action also, and kind of standing up for what is right. But it also, Knights of Swords can be a little bit cavalier with their words. This can mean fighting to resolve something. So I encourage you to avoid that kind of slashing words and the hurtful things that come out. Swords, you know, they really do stand for the actual sword. It can be very cutting and very biting. And the longer you put off this conversation, Taurus, the closer you're going to get to kind of the nastiness that comes up from resentment and covering things up and swallowing your words, your thoughts, your feelings, or putting yourself second. So to avoid this Knight of Swords and kind of that biting, cutting, really damaging, kind of spiritually damaging words that can come from just neglecting what your choices are and what your preferences are. So please take that step into making those changes so the Knight of Swords doesn't come and slash things up and make it really destructive. You know, you can release from either a relationship, a job, a friendship. You can release with kindness and dignity and love. It doesn't have to be to the point where you're at deep loathe and resentment, and that is when all the negative stuff comes out. So the lovers are right on top of here. So it is really feeling like it is a love relationship of some kind. So, and for those of you that are in a committed relationship that are just going through a patch, it could mean just speaking your truth, coming to resolution. And for others that have been in a relationship that you know is not serving you or the other person, it does look like the demise or the change of that or the release of that. But it can be done with love and kindness. It is a main focus here. So Taurus, please speak your truth and try to do it with the most loving kindness that you can. But it does look like the other person feels and sees the difficulties and the challenges. So I don't think it'll be as harsh as you believe it will be if you step forward and communicate. The Queen of Cups here, this feels like a mentor. This feels like someone that is like always has your back kind of thing. And queens cups can be emotional things. This is a water sign. If it is a person, that's Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. So if you need some advice from a trusted person, it does feel like it's kind of mother love, someone that is either a mentor, someone gives you good advice, maybe slightly older than you, or someone that is a mother figure. So don't be afraid to go to them to kind of heal your wounds or get some good advice if you're stuck. The High Priestess is on the left side of this, and this is finding your own bliss and finding your own joy. It looks like you have been in self-discovery mode for a little bit, Taurus. So this is kind of the continuation of that, finding your balance as a spiritual being, continuing your teaching, continuing filling yourself up with all the good juju. For many of you, it may be going to church. For many of you, it may be going into the woods. Maybe the woods is your church. It does not necessarily dictate the God source, whatever you you feel your connection is with spirit. But it is time to nurture your spirit, your wants, your needs, your desires. And it does look like there's something that you've wanted to do, whether it's, a pilgrimage to the old land, whether it's taking classes it does feel like it's going to some distance to gain some knowledge. So, and it feels like on a physical level, it could be going to South America to take that yoga class, but some desire and something that will help you grow spiritually that you've been kind of putting off for more of the mundane, daily, physical things. But now it's time to feed your soul a little bit. And however that looks for you, Taurus. So don't be afraid to manifest that. And what is on the other side is you may have to walk away. You may have to walk away. And this is the Eight of Cups. You have quite a lot of cups and wands here. So a little bit of emotions coming up, or a lot of emotions coming up, but movement is required with all this fire sign, with all these I'm sorry, with all these wands coming up, it does require some movement on your part. You can't just let it lay there like it has been, like a dead fish, and it's just rotting. So it does require some intellect, some movement, and compassion and kindness on your part. But you may have to walk away from some situation. And for those of you who are changing or trying to change housing, that may be just walking away from the toxic or the unpleasant situation before you have other things set up. But, you know, connect with your village. I think the Queen of Cups represents part of your village. Connect with your village. Start, you know, putting your feelers out for the changes that you need to make. And it includes updating your resume if you are looking for a new job, and that is the changes that you're making. So that is your reading for the month of May. And I'm going to throw a couple of clarity cards here. These are the chakra cards. And they tend to be pretty accurate. Oh, that one wanted to jump, so we'll get that. Dissipating. Okay, so something in your world is dissipating. It could be your patience. It could be that you're seeing that the connection with this person, this job, this house is dissipating. It is lessening in its intensity. So it is time for you to make those changes because there really isn't anything left for you there. That is of more positive growth. The miracle is here. Don't give up before the miracle. And you yourself are quite a miracle in this world. So do not forget your magic and your miracles and what you're here for on this planet.